Hello everyone, welcome to the week 2 recording for Computer Fundamentals. And you'll see that week 2 goes October 28th to November 1st, and it's the second part of the Inside the PC unit. So for week 2, of course, you have the week 2 write-up. You have a write-up each week. I think you're getting familiar with those, aren't you? Then we're going to look at section 4 of this unit, section 5 of this unit, and section 6. Now, as far as the work, you have a quiz to do. Then you have a pretty simple assignment about exploring your computer a little bit. Then you have the unit exam. And as you can see, we skip the discussions. So this week will go pretty fast. In fact, I think some of you will probably get it done like Thursday and Friday of week 1, and then you'll be a week ahead, which is great. Just a few reminders. Welcome to Getting Started. So if you haven't gotten started yet, there's where you can go to do all that. I'll be posting assignment samples in here, assignment directions. These are going to be recordings to help you get assignments done as we move into these different units of study. Using proper file names, please make sure you do that. And lastly, here's where I'll post questions that students have. So you want to always go to the announcements. If something isn't working right in the class, you have a question about something, always go to these announcements. And you may find a new announcement that will help you answer the question. Okay, I'm going to go on down. So here we are inside the PC. And of course, we're in week 2. So week 2 is going to be from here on down. So I'm going to go into the week 2 write-up. So I want to look at these questions before I start going over week 2, right? And remember to do the write-ups. Copy and paste these into a word processor document. Find the answers as you watch this recording. Write the answers right by each item. Check your spelling and your grammar. And I'd suggest you save the file. Just save it as week 2 write-up in case you have to get back to it some other time. But remember, you're just going to copy and paste all your answers and everything into the Dropbox. You will not attach the file, but it is good to save it so you don't have to do it again in case there's some issues with it. All right, jumping into section 4. So how is information processed in early years? For modern computer, what is the operating system considered? There's 3 different operating systems. In what year did Windows first become popular? What are 2 of the most useful features of modern operating systems? All right, so jump right into section 4. And what is an operating system? Well, this first talks about in the old days of computers. They were monoliths, meaning they were giant, and they had dedicated operators. So the person who wanted to do a computer program, that really wasn't the operator. The person had to rewrite here. If a scientist wanted to run a program, she would submit her program to the operator, and the operator would then give her the results a day or 2 later. So the answer for that Class Connect write-up question is that people would submit their programs to the computer operator, and they would come back to get their results sometime later. I did that in college in my first computing classes in the late 70s. We'd take these punch cards just like this, although we didn't do them on this type of machine. We had a different type of machine. And I'd have a stack of these punch cards that I would take, turn them in. Now, in the window of the computing center, it would say anything turned in after 2 o'clock today can be picked up on after 9 o'clock on Thursday morning. Then you go back and get your printout of your work, and if a card was out of place, then your program wouldn't work. So it was really a pain. So programs like they were created on punch cards, and then the scientist, you wouldn't find out whether you had a problem until 2 days later, then you had to start over. There was one time a friend of mine had a stack of about 100 cards, big major program, and he dropped it on the stairway. And the cards, they're not numbered, so he had to go redo all the cards. So anyway, things are much different these days with standalone computers. Okay, in this section, we're going to identify an operating system and talk about Windows XP, demonstrate an understanding of common problems with XP, benefits and drawbacks to Windows XP. Now, you may not be using Windows XP, so a lot of this information is very similar. Now, operating system, it can be thought of as the traffic controller or the decision maker for the computer. So the operating system is what tells the computer what to do when. And some of the operating systems here are Linux is one, Sun OS, which means Sun operating system, Leopard, DOS is one. Then there's Mac, like Mac is an operating system, or Apple operating system. So there are lots of different operating systems out there. Of course, there are many different versions of Windows. Okay, go through this and read some of these items just to know a little bit more about operating systems. Now, operating systems, why do we really need one? Does it cause more trouble than it's worth? Well, in operating systems, I mean, they're designed really well these days. In the early days of Windows, operating systems had trouble. Like they would, sometimes you have to upgrade your computer to run certain Windows. Windows would crash a lot, it would slow down the system, or it was expensive. But nowadays, operating systems, Windows operating systems are so much different. They're much more stable. You don't have as many issues as one used to. So Windows, it started in '85, but it wasn't until 1990 that it started to gain popularity. So that's the answer to that write-up question. 1990 is when Windows became popular. Now this says the current version is Windows Vista. It's really not, because we have Windows 7 that's out, we have Windows 8 that's out with the touchscreen capabilities. So this course is a little bit behind the times. But 1990 is when Windows gained popularity. Some benefits of using Windows. Multitasking, which means you can switch between programs. Back in the old days, you had to quit whatever program you were in and then open up the new program you wanted to get to. Now, you can have a variety of windows open. In fact, I'm going to open this screen. Check this out. Top of my screen, I have all these browser windows open. In the old days of computers, you could, even though we didn't have internet, but if you had the old style operating system, you can only have one browser window open at a time. But now, of course, we can work on Excel at the same time we're working on Microsoft Word, same time we're working on PowerPoint, all kinds of things. So multitasking is a great thing because you can do different computers at the same, or different programs at the same time. Another great thing about Windows operating systems is plug and play. And what plug and play means is that you plug in a device and your computer will automatically install it for you. You used to have to do all these things. You'd get into your computer and you have to switch a switch on your circuit board. You have dip switches on hard drives. You had to use the right port for your sound card. But now plug and play is the second thing that Windows operating systems are really good for. So multitasking and plug and play. Now this is a discussion, so we're skipping this discussion, and you can see some of these questions I have as part of the write-up. Okay, a quiz. So your quiz is right down here, Unit 1, Section 4 quiz, and remember right up here, Unit 1 quiz previews. The quiz previews are all right here for you, for all the quizzes. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. I need to put that in, but the quiz previews will be there for you. Sorry about that. I'll get that in there. Okay, let's go back to the write-up. So we answered all of these, didn't we? Answered all those questions. Okay, now Section 5, the 4 main items in a taskbar. What does a scroll bar allow you to do? What is the most common drive letter for a main hard drive for a computer? How are folders useful? What are the 2 common keys for Windows shortcuts? So now we're into Section 5, right? So in Section 5, now we're going to learn more about Windows. So last section we looked about the basics of Windows. Now we're going to learn a little bit more about specifics of Windows, because that's the operating system that most people have. Now some of you might have Macs, so some of the terminology might be different, but Macs do the same things that Windows computers do. So in this section, we're going to explore the basics of Windows, demonstrate common knowledge of problems with Windows XP, manipulate and control the desktop files and devices, and look at common Windows applications, elements of those. In Microsoft Windows, so what you need to do is you need to make sure you watch this video, please. And that video is going to talk about different things about Windows. And I think it's probably, I'll just turn it on. It's 4 minutes. So this video because it's going to talk about Windows basics. But when you think about things within Windows, the taskbar has all of these things. The taskbar is what you have at the bottom of your screen. So the taskbar has your start menu, your quick launch, your task icons, and your system tray. So those are the 4 items that are part of the taskbar. Make sure you watch this video because it will tell you more of the answers for this class. Now here's an anatomy of a window. So if we take a look at this window, take a look at the different parts of it. The menu bar is right up here at the top. The toolbar, meaning the tools that you can use to do different work. The scroll bar right over here. And your status bar at the bottom. As you look at it, this says what all these bars do. The toolbar, the top, then status bar. Status bar gives you information like the page that you're on. So like right down here, this is a demonstration. It's a blank word processing document. And you can see in the status bar, this is on page 4 of 5 pages. So the status bar tells you what page you're on in your files and such. And of course, the scroll bar lets you move up and down or left and right on your page. So that's how the scroll bar is useful. Your different drive letters. Of course, your computers have different drives. Your computers might have hard drives, CD drives, and other devices. But the main drive for most computers, the common main drive, is the C drive. Now, in the old days, if you had floppy drives, you'd have like A and B drive, but most computers now, the C drive is the main drive. Sometimes it's the D drive, but it's the C drive. And then like when you plug in a USB or plug your camera in, then that gets a drive number, a drive letter, like drive F or G or something. But the common one is drive C for most computers. Folders and files. Folders are where programs and data are stored. For instance, if you look at this example, these are a bunch of folders right here. And this is clicked on the File Types folder. You can see it has files within that File Types folder. The importance of folders is that they help you organize information. And I've mentioned already, you should have a folder for this class called Computer Fundamentals and save all of your work in there. But the main thing about folders is that folders help you organize your files. Or folders help you organize your files. So within folders, go files. And files would be like the names of the work that you create, like hello.doc, that's the name of a file. Well, that file would be saved in a folder. So folders help you keep things organized. That's the importance of folders. Different mouse actions. Mice started being used in '81, but there were some people that were using them way back in '65. Of course, the nice thing about using a mouse is that it's much more user-friendly to move around on your screen, and the mouse is important because we have object-oriented programs now, right? They're not command line where you have to type in commands to do things. Now you click on things to make them happen. So that's why a mouse is useful. Keyboard shortcuts, really important. Keyboard shortcuts, if you look on your computer, you'll have a key called the CTRL key on your keyboard. And you have an Alt key, and you might even have an FN, a function key. Well, some of the common ones. If you hold down Alt and hit Alt F, then you can open up files and such. So Alt is a main control key, shortcut key, and Control is a main shortcut key. So that's the answer to the Class Connect write-up question. Alt as a shortcut key and Control as a shortcut key. Now Control S is really helpful. Like if I'm in Microsoft Word and I typed up a document and I saved it, then after I save it the first time, all I have to do is hit Control S after that and it saves it automatically once I save it. But the answer to the Class Connect write-up question is the Alt key is a good shortcut key and Control is a good shortcut key. So like on my computer right now, if I'm going to hit Alt F. And you see it brought down this window right over here where I could type in some commands. So those types of things can be very useful to know those shortcut keys. Windows Scavenger Hunt. This is your assignment, so it's right over here. Unit 1, Section 5 assignment right there. And what you're going to do on this assignment, this is going to be a scavenger hunt. And essentially what you're doing is you're going to learn some things about your computer. So what you'll do, so you'll open this document, then as you go through your computer, it's like this first one, you'll go to My Documents folder, and you'll type the name of 3 different folders that are in My Documents on your computer. Pretty easy, right? Name 2 different ways you can bring up My Computer. So you need to figure that out. One of them is to hit on your computer, hit Start, and then Computer. That's one way. Find 4 different commands in Internet Explorer and identify their shortcuts. Well, that means Internet Explorer. So if I open up Internet Explorer right here, so here I am in Internet Explorer, and I want to find shortcuts. So if I click the word File, see these things? These are shortcuts. Control N gives me a new window. So right here, if I hit Control N, look at that, it opened up a new window for me. So here are shortcuts in Internet Explorer. Control W, Control S, etc. Under Edit, you can see there's Control A, Control F. So that's what that means by finding shortcuts. So those are shortcuts that you can put down for that answer. Now let's go back to that document. Where were we here? Here we go. So for shortcut commands, I just showed that to you. This one, you're going to right click anywhere on your desktop and look at how you can arrange your icons. Now your computer might not say arrange icons by, but there's some way how you can arrange icons. So see the different ways to do that. And then on Start, go to All Programs, and how many different programs do you have in your computer? So this is a pretty easy document. Now what you can do with this, after you get the answers, highlight the whole thing and then paste it into the Dropbox. Don't worry about attaching the file. Just highlight and paste all this into the Dropbox. Makes it easier for me to grade. Thanks. Okay, so you have that assignment you're going to do. Then find now, so of course that's right there, same thing. So that's the assignment right there too. So you could actually just copy it from here and do your answering and then paste it as text in the Dropbox. All right, last thing for the write-up. We answered all of these, didn't we? Okay. Section 6, in computing, what does more mobility mean to you? Discuss one possibility with technology in the area of digital health. What is one thing you'd like a computer to do for you in the future? So Section 6 is all about the future of technology. So if you look at this, hard drives and memory are getting cheaper. Computer technology has changed at any rate. Imagine if flight time, if aerospace industry went as fast as computers. Not that, if the technology changed as quickly as computer technology changed, it would take us less than 16 hours to go from Los Angeles to Singapore, right? We could fly that in 2 hours. So imagine if air flight technology speed doubled every 2 years, like computer speed doubles every 2 years. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? In this section, we're going to look at current trends in technology and the possibilities of the future with technology. Now, one thing, of course, multi-touch displays, and you've seen that not only like in your phones and your handsets you have in some of the games you play, but certainly in Windows 8 with touchscreen on laptops. So go to this blog and you can learn a little bit more about touchscreen. Also, you can go down here and check out this coffee table computer that Popular Mechanics had an article about, just to learn a little bit more about technology. Discussion, more mobility. Well, we're skipping this as a discussion, but it is the question in the write-up. So, more mobility, probably won't be much longer before we have all the data we need at our fingertips, right, with our smartphones and everything. So are there problems with this? Yeah. Is all the stuff secure? Is it private? Can we back it up easily? Is data readily available? So what I want you to do is think about the mobility with the handsets that you have and the smartphones that students have. And you have a question related to that. Just your thoughts on more mobility and what it means to you. Digital health. Another thing that's really important. These days, most doctors, they have charts and everything, and some doctors are starting to keep charts on iPads and things like this. But think about this technology. Imagine if you could have something that you wear that would give you a reminder of when to take your pill. Well, you already have that with your smartphone, right? You can set up a calendar and it can tell you, make an appointment to take a pill. Something that keeps track of your fitness. Well, my son just bought this this bracelet he puts on his wrist, and he keeps track of all of his fitness, how many steps he takes, how many miles he goes a day, and then he can upload it to his computer. That's already happening, isn't it? Computing device in your home that alerts a family member in case of a problem, or a human, a computer brain, a chip that gets put in the brain that would have maybe all the math you'd ever need to know. So think about digital health and how technology, and don't just copy and paste these, please. Think of something on your own. Or if you do use one of these, you need to write about it a little bit more. Just don't copy and paste it in there. That's another Class Connect write-up question. Biometrics. We have these barcodes on items and things like this. What if you had you have barcodes on everything, and you have refrigerators that could read barcodes. So the refrigerator could put on the outside of your refrigerator, it could give you a list of everything in the refrigerator. It could tell you when the milk is going to expire. Wouldn't that be cool? You could generate a list and print out a list of things you need to buy at the grocery store. The future of computers. So here are just some quotes. Somebody said that they'd weigh no more than 1.5 tons. Thomas Watson, the guy from IBM, there's no world market for more than maybe 5 computers. Here's somebody talks about data processing is a fad that won't last very long. That was in 1957. The microchip, it was invented by Intel, and somebody said, yeah, but what is it good for? Here, Ken Olsen in 1977 said, no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. Well, people were really wrong, weren't they? So it just shows you how even some really brainy people can make mistakes on what they think. All right, unit exam. So right over here is unit exam. Here's the unit exam preview, and I do have that one posted. So let's go back up to the write-up, the week 2 write-up, and make sure I answered all these questions. So remember down here, these are going to be like your own ideas. Discuss one possibility of technology in the area of digital health, one thing you'd like a computer to do for you in the future. So you have the write-up for this week, for week 2. Go back to the assignments. So for week 2, you have the write-up for the week, then you have quiz 1.4, you have the section 5 assignment 1, and remember that can just be done as text in the Dropbox. Then you have unit 1 exam, and make sure you use the exam preview before you do that. So I'll get the practice quiz posted, quiz previews posted, and then you'll all be ready to go. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I look forward to your work coming in. Keep working hard, please. Bye.